why not show my face, I guess, for this one. I really don't have nothing to lose, so fuck it. I guess just to start off, I mean, I know that I already went against the YouTube guidelines as far as cussing early on in the video, but it doesn't really matter. Not too many people are going to watch this video anyway. I gotta talk. I don't have nobody to talk to, so I'm gonna record this shit and honestly just get some thoughts off. Some things that have really been pissing me off that I peep on a regular basis every day. Where to start is the question. Been just keeping up with the news cycle. Of course, everybody knows what's going on in the United States as far as what Trump, his cabinet, Elon Musk, what they're doing to the government. All I'm gonna say is that's what happens when you have money in politics. When you allow people to buy your vote, not even buy your vote. Whenever you allow somebody to, a corporation, shall I say, let's get like specific. When you have PACs, political, I forget what the acronym stands for, but when you have political PACs that can lobby on the interest of different corporations, can also put money behind politicians to push their agenda, or their not even their agenda, what they want as far as regulations, different policies, whatever the case is. Citizens United needs to be overturned like yesterday. That shit should have been overturned. It should have never been legal to begin with, because corporations are not people. Corporations are made out of people, but corporations are not people. So with that being said, Citizens United made it to where corporations can then lobby as if they were a person. So what we have going on now in America is corporations, whether it be oil, pharmaceutical, military, whatever you want to call it. We have different corporations that are funneling money into our politicians, and our politicians do the bidding of the corporations that they get the money from. APAC being another one, which would be a nice little segue off into the next little topic that I want to talk about. Israel is now at war. It's a soft war, but they've already started dropping bombs. Israel is now at war with Syria. Why? They want a greater Israel. My bad, I have a speech impediment. But nevertheless, I ain't editing none of this anyway, so it doesn't really fucking matter. But Israel wants a greater Israel. They literally have a map. Netanyahu has presented this map to the UN, I want to say. Netanyahu has paraded this map around, and now he is actually going about doing what he said he wanted to do in regards to taking over different land around. What he wants to do is to remake the Silk Road that runs through the Middle East. It goes through the Levant into Europe. He wants that so that way Israel can be a more prominent trading, economic power in the world. Because as of right now, Israel is this small, surrounded by a bunch of Arab countries. So they want to provocatively go to war, and they have lobbies in the UK. They have lobbies in the US. I'm pretty sure they have lobbies throughout the rest of Europe, Canada, whatever you want to call it. They have these lobbies that funnel money into politicians so that way politicians can turn a blind eye to what Israel is doing, which is genocide. It is genocide. All in the name of religion. Because let's be mindful here. Israel would not exist if it was not for religion. These wars wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for religions. Those Europeans would have never came down into Levant again if it wasn't for religion. They would not have a single claim to the land if it wasn't for religion. Once again, religion is being used to propagate and justify war. Just like how it did in the Bible, just like it does in most other religious books or texts. They use their God as a justification, as a reason to go kill and slaughter a bunch of other folks that either don't believe what they believe, or don't follow what they follow, or just look different. Different skin complexions. That's what the fuck Israel is doing right now. And they're getting away with it because of money. That's the money, ironically enough, being the reason why they got kicked out of so many countries in Europe. They did. For usury. They got kicked out of all of these European countries for usury. And a bunch of other, conspiracies and stuff like that. As far as when it comes down to the Christians looked at Jews as the reason why Jesus was killed. So they got persecuted for that. Once again, religion. All this going back to one motherfucker named Abraham that decided that God promised that he was supposed to have something. He was supposed to have a lineage that more kids than the sands, than the grains of sands on the earth. So he was old. Sarah was old. So Sarah was like, you know what? You could just go sleep with my Egyptian slave that we just got from Pharaoh, even though you pimped me out to the Pharaoh when we went to Egypt, told him that you were my sister, so that way the Pharaoh wouldn't kill you. So, after that entire story plays out, now the Pharaoh gives Abraham some of his treasures, give him some of his slaves as well, Hagar being one of them. And then, of course, Hagar, Ishmael, that entire story is where all of the Islamic faith tie their lineage back to Abraham. Sarah told Abraham to sleep with Hagar. He did. She got jealous after Ishmael was born, kicked him out. God told him to come back. Then she kicked him out again. And that one little schism is what's causing all of this fucking shit between the three Abrahamic fucking faiths. And humanity still follows religion to this day. To this day. God was hella active, hella present, all around, showing his face, talking to people, interacting with people back in the day. But this motherfucker must be camera shy or some shit. Because he ain't making his presence known to everybody. But people still use these beliefs to justify their cruel and insidious fucking acts. And because it's in the name of God, people let that shit slide. I'm sorry. Humanity, honestly, taking a step out of my personal situation and just looking at humanity on a global scale will make a motherfucker want to commit suicide, bro. G shit. Cause like, we are fucking imbeciles. And in my previous videos, where I'm not showing my face or anything like that, I say one thing and I'm gonna say this shit again. We live on a floating rock in space. Said floating rock gives us everything we need to live. We're the only sentient creatures that use a piece of paper to provide what we need to survive. We're the only sentient creatures that pay to exist. Not saying that, work is not necessary. Work is necessary. Work will always be necessary. But we're the only sentient creatures on this planet that pay to exist. The only ones. The only ones. And we have all of these different governments. We have all of these different religions. And whatever the case is, mine is right, yours is wrong, whatever the case is. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Because if I cut myself, I'm going to bleed the same color as everybody else on this fucking planet. I'm going to die just like everybody else on this fucking planet. And then let me focus in on America real quick. Okay. So, searching across YouTube, because I don't have any social medias, strictly on YouTube. I see different compilation videos of people that upload TikTok videos pretty much saying, what the black folks are going to sit out these 4 years because y'all didn't want to listen to us when we said vote Kamala Harrison, and now we got Trump, so fuck around and find out, and all this other shit. Kamala Harris had the same donors as Donald Trump, or primarily most of the same donors as Donald Trump. Kamala Harris didn't do shit while she was in office. She didn't do shit. Couldn't answer a question direct at all whatsoever. But y'all still, that's the person to vote for because she's a melanated woman. She ain't black. She's not black. She's not culturally black. I've never heard a culturally black person say that they're going to wash collard greens in a bathtub. She's not black. But, fuck around to find out. Y'all didn't want to vote for a black woman to get into office. No, she's incompetent. She ain't do shit when she was in office, and she wasn't going to do shit when she got the presidency, even if she was elected. Why? Because she's beholden to donors. People that put money in her pocket so that way she can get into office. So when she gets into office, so, are you going to keep up with our agenda that we had set? We already talked about this during our donor meetings. I'm going to need you to, keep your word on that. I know the American people are saying one thing, but I'm going to need you to keep your word on, what we discussed in our donor meetings. What doesn't get, promoted to the general public. Not a fan of Trump either. I didn't vote. And I'm fine with that. Because I'm not cool with submitting, going and wasting my fucking time when I already got to work all goddamn day just to try to survive. And that's just not going well. Because let a dude go through a manic episode, attempts to commit suicide, gets submitted to a fucking psychiatric ward for a week, loses his money for that, then loses his apartment. So when you get out of the psych ward for attempting suicide, you go back and face reality, and you realize that since you live alone, there's no fucking safety net for you, so you end up being evicted, and you have to stay in your car, even though you work full-time, a salary employee, top marks, etc. It doesn't fucking matter. Because corporations are still buying up real estate, which is driving up the prices, which prices us out of the market. If you make $50,000 a year and you're by yourself, you're not doing shit. I'm on child support with $50K a year, so I'm not even making $50K a year. I got put on child support by a cheating woman. I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't step out. And that's a whole nother topic as far as the family courts and that entire situation. But if I'm being real with y'all, this existence has not shown me any fucking reason whatsoever to actually want to stay here. Talking about making it, I'm about to be 30 years old this year. I'm 29. Making it till I'm 60? And this shit? Fuck no. Absolutely not. No. Unless something drastically changes for the overall being for humanity, fuck no. We have billionaires. And America's about to fall just the same way that Rome did, because nobody pays attention to history. Rome spread itself out too thin, trying to conquer too much land, had too many military skirmishes going on. The wealthy started building up all the wealth. They became a part of the same governance, just like how we have today. They formed the oligarchy. People started to revolt. They had mass migration. That's America. Falling for the same okie doke that Rome did. And we have it, I don't understand. Like, we have so many adults, grown old motherfuckers that been on this planet for a long ass time, that's are just completely ignorant to history. This shit is not acceptable. It's not cool. Like, I don't fucking get it. Like, there's no reason that a 1-bedroom apartment in America, where I'm at, in the ghetto, if anybody know anything about Gwinnett County in Georgia, Lawrenceville to be specific, it is it's one of the fastest growing cities. Gwinnett is one of the fastest growing counties in Georgia. But there's no reason why a 1-bedroom apartment in the ghetto costs $1,400 a month. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. With the fake floor, the fake hardwood floor, some old dusty appliances. Because it's silver, we get to charge you, high prices for it. Floors creak everywhere you take a step. $1,400. $1,400. And then we have the old guard, the boomers and shit, like, oh, these new generations don't want to work hard enough or whatever. Shut the fuck up. Because when y'all was coming up, life was cake for y'all motherfuckers. Life was cake. The economy was booming after World War II. So y'all's parents was able to give y'all something to start off with. We ain't got shit. I was born in 95. I was able to witness like the trail end of the American dream. And then my pops left when I was 9. And then we started struggling and moving, bro. Like I said, I'm 29 years old. I've moved over almost 40 times. No, I've moved over 40 times in my lifetime. Just due to instability and a single mother. A single mother. No shade on my mom. She tried. But it wasn't enough. My dad, our relationship is still strained. Still strained, and that's a whole nother video. A whole nother video. But this world, this existence, it doesn't make sense. Oh, just a side note, by the way, for y'all that, want to do any type of actual research, Israelites are Canaanites. I just wanted to throw that out there. So if y'all are like real steep Christians and shit like that, go do some research on the Bronze Age collapse, who's actually living in that area during the time, who controlled the area during the time, who the Peliset were, Warring the Sea Peoples. Go do some research on the Peliset. Israelites were Canaanites. They never had a mass exodus out of Egypt. And if at that time frame that they had this exodus in the Bible, they would have left Egypt to go into the Levant, which was controlled by Egypt. This shit doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. I study religion on like every single day of my life, almost every hour that I can, because I grew up in it, was prophesied to that I was supposed to be a pastor. Always had an issue with the devil. Like, if I'm an all-knowing, all-powerful God, why the fuck would I create something knowing that it's going to oppose me? Why would I do something like that? That means I don't know shit. If I'm an all-knowing, all-powerful God, I would not create something that's going to oppose my will. But that all goes back So the Anunnaki, the ancient Sumerians, Mesopotamia. Abraham grew up in Ur, which is in Sumeria. His father would have definitely been under the same pantheon as the Akkadians or the Sumerians, the Anunnaki, El, Enlil, etc. And that made it into the Bible. Deuteronomy 32:8. You can't give an inheritance to yourself. There's two different words that are used in the Bible. You have El and Yahweh. El gave Yahweh his inheritance. Those are two separate deities. Both of them had the same wife by the name of Asherah. Yahweh was supposed to be El's son. So I guess Yahweh ended up sleeping with his mom. None of it makes sense. Religion should be treated as Greek mythology, Norse mythology, Egyptian mythology. It's all mythology. Not saying that there's no grand creator to all of this, but it's not what man put in books. Far from it. Far fucking from it. Far from it. 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not kill. Then I'm going to go command you and kill all of the Canaanites, Amalekites, all of the people in the land of Canaan, even though I just gave you the commandment of thou shalt not commit murder. And then apologists try to twist it. Oh, murder and killing are two different things. And da. No, you ended somebody's life. You played God. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And it really just makes me was like, why the fuck continue to be here? Why continue to be here? For what? For why? Corporations don't give a fuck about you. They're going to keep doing their stock buybacks. Congress just passed a spending bill which will lower the corporate tax from 35 to 21, so that way they can make their more money back. We know this trickle down economic shit don't work, Reagan. I hope you fucking turn in your grave. Trickle down economics does not work because there's a such thing as greed, and corporations have greed. These corporations are doing great. Great. Their workers, on the other hand, fucked. The investors and the stockholders, they're doing great, you know, because that's the only thing that matters is if our stockholders are happy, then we're happy. Like, this shit is sad, bro. It really is. And we just gonna sit back and watch it happen. Why? It's just conditioning. Conditioning. It starts with school. Rockefeller didn't want no free thinkers when he came up with the American education system. He wanted workers. And that's what we got. We got a bunch of workers. Nobody that thinks. We have some thinkers. Let me not be hyperbolic about it. We got some thinkers. But on the mass scale, the American education system hasn't been reformed much at all. Damn near the same curriculum. Only thing that gets an update is like history and science as we find shit out. This shit is programmed to where we're just all supposed to be little cogs in the wheel, just to make sure these rich motherfuckers get richer. And this has happened in history over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Greed. It is baked into humanity. That's why I say fuck humanity. I'm tired of it. Like, we are a lost cause. And we are quickly accelerating ourselves into like straight up annihilation. Because let Iran actually like pop their shit. Let Iran pop their shit. You already know America's going to go to right to the back for Israel. All Israel is another European colony. And we know how Europe likes to colonize people. We know how Europe likes to colonize people. And I'm tired. I'm so sick and tired of people talking about fucking Hitler and Hitler this and Hitler that and Hitler was the worst and Hitler's the... Yes, Hitler is he is a repugnant excuse for a human being. Where's all the vitriol for King Leopold of Belgium? He killed way more people and did it for a longer amount of time than Hitler did. The reason why we don't hear about King Leopold is because he killed black people in Africa, in the Congo. All these European countries keep going to Africa and colonizing, fucking shit up, keeping Africa poor so the rest of the world can get wealthy. That's it. It's systemically baked in now. So even when the African countries do get freedom, they're so self-reliant on the European countries that colonized them. Bar for bar, Africa is the most wealthiest continent on this planet. It is. The most genetically diverse. All of us come from there. I don't understand why white people are scared that they're going to be bred out of existence. White people, newsflash, you came from us. Y'all were, at one point in time, Africans too. But something called evolution. It's a recessive gene to not have melanin. That is a recessive gene. Sheikh Anta Diop has proven this. And several other African prominent scientists. Melanin started first. Then we got a couple albinos that realized it was too hot to kick it in Africa, migrated to colder climate, and became what we know as Europeans. And then, on top of that, they came back when it was forming Greece and all of that shit. Plato, Aristotle, all your great Greek polymaths or whatever the fuck you want to call them, they learned from Egypt. All of them. Why? Because Egypt was the beacon or the height civilization. But you want to give Greece so much fucking props. Zeus even had to go back to Ethiopia to recharge. That's not me saying the shit. That is actually in the mythology. And I don't hate white people. I hate fear. That's what I hate. Because fear makes you act irrational as fuck. To enslave an entire group of people based off of skin color because you believe that if they procreate with your kind, you're going to be bred out of existence. As long as black people are on this planet, white people will exist at some point in time in history. Why? Because albinos will always be around. Recessive genes will always be recessive. So you will always come back. But if you haven't gotten it through your thick skulls already, black people are not trying to wipe you off the face of the planet to begin with. We would have did it already. Black people, melanated, I ain't even gonna say black people. Melanated people have agape love for the most part. You Europeans, I can't say that shit. I cannot say that shit. The mountains fucked y'all up. Those caves fucked y'all up. That a little bit of Neanderthal DNA fucked y'all up. And I don't ever want it to be like I'm a bigot or anything like that. I'm not. This is what science is proven. This is what history is shown. History and science ties back to that conclusion. This is a 30-minute video. I was not planning on getting on here and yelling at my phone for 30 minutes. That's wild. Nevertheless, I don't have nobody to talk to. So, sleeping in my car every night, work a full-time job, the shit is pointless. It really is. This existence is pointless. Why go out and strive to do anything great when I'm gonna die anyway? We all gonna die anyway. I'm chubby. I can go get in the gym right now and lose all this weight. I'ma still die. I can hustle my ass off, become the richest motherfucker in the world, go smack Elon upside his little bitch ass head, and I'ma still die one day. And I can't take none of that shit with me. This world is a sick place, man. It really is. It really is. And once you like take a step back and you look at shit, everything like objectively, like there's no objective truth as into the purpose of life. Life is what you make it. It's the bullshit ass response back to that. See, Friedrich Nietzsche, Albert Camus, those philosophers, they recognize that life is absurd, life is meaningless. And they was like, oh, well, you still got to make the best of it. You should laugh in the absurdity of life's face. What does that accomplish? Suffering still happens. That's the only two things that are guaranteed in this existence, this human existence. The only two things that you are guaranteed. You can't say taxes, because babies are born. They don't have to pay taxes if they die due to whatever circumstance. Suffering and death are the only two things that are guaranteed in this existence. Objectively speaking, those two are the only two things that are guaranteed. You will suffer and you will die at some point. So why not just go ahead and get this shit over with? That's the question I'll start to ask myself every day. I'm not close to my family. Don't care to have a relationship. Most of these women out here are materialistic and superficial anyway. Can only really have surface level conversations. Super materialistic. Uber materialistic, shall I say. I don't see a point in actually like being in a relationship with somebody. I can cook, I can clean, take care of myself. The only reason why I would be in a relationship with somebody at this point is for financial reasons. So I'll have another source of income so that way we both can, try to toe tag this shit together. But fuck that. Fuck that. I'll probably just get this shit over with soon. Because humans have completely evaporated all reason why to be here. Fuck making it to 60, bro. I don't even want to make it to 30. And that's in October. Y'all have a nice one.